Do now, ba 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 da da dee ba 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 da da dee ba 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 da da. Do now, think positive podcast. Ba 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 da da dee ba ba ba.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back again to Do Now, Think Positive. Today, we're going to do a little bit more different. We are discussing about the past, the present, and the future about companies that has been more than about 30 years in the business. So this is the first generation and second generation. This is Mr. Philip and Mr. Wai Yu going to talk about how they keep themselves relevant.
Right. Thank you, Fendi. So basically, our company has been around close to 30 years. And when we first started, I always remember my mentor, which is my former boss. And he gave me a piece of advice. He said, when you're running a business, always keep your cost base in check, meaning that you must have a cost base that should be able to sustain during the good time and also the not so good time, like challenges. The reason is that you keep hiring and then during bad time you keep firing. So it's very difficult to build the trust. And secondly is that during the challenging time, it doesn't just give you pre-planned, it will come to you as a surprises. So you must be able to weather the storm. So keeping your cost low is very important because I've seen a lot of SME that when they make money last year, this year, and they projected to make okay for the next 1 or 2 years, they start spending on new factory, new offices, buying new cars, getting a driver, and so on. Well, if it's necessary, why not? If you can afford it, why not? But always come back to a base cost that you're able to survive during the challenging time to weather it. Right.
Hi everyone, my name is Wai Yu. I'm the CEO of Central Force International, which is the largest Buatan Malaysia market research firm in the country. And I agree with you, Philip. I think for me, my mentor was my dad because my dad started Central Force exactly 30 years ago. This year is our 30th year. And one of the things that he always said was your most important asset is your people. And you always need to invest, you need to care for the people that works in the company because end of the day, your company is nothing if it's not for the people. So that's something that I've brought and carried forward all the way. Our core values is ethics, quality, and care. And the care is heavily emphasized on our staff, our clients, and the people around us.
Yeah.
And how we make sure that we always jaga and take care of everyone. That's very important.
Yeah, that's very true because trust is the fundamental and the foundation. So very recent challenges will be the COVID lockdown. So we know that 2 years and perhaps a lot of people just retrench and cut costs. We did not reduce or cut any of our staff costs. So the senior management, including myself, we kind of cut our costs to less than more than 50% cut as in salary. So because we felt that as a senior management, if we were to sacrifice during this time, our cost cutting can cover quite a lot of workers. And it's also kind of like walk the talk. So it's not like 1 month, it's almost coming to 18 to 24 months. We do that. And when during the challenging time, if management exercises this kind of leadership, the trust bank, I call it, is really, really impeccable.
It's the same thing, right? So for us, during COVID 6 years ago, I think a lot of companies were actually closing down. They were cutting salaries, they were stopping salaries, but we didn't do anything. So we did not cut, we didn't stop any salary. But we held on, right? We tried to stay as long as possible to keep ensuring that our staff can still have an income to receive. Because at the end of the day, they still have to pay rental, they still have to take care of the family, and they still have to put food on the table. So we need to make sure that our staff is well taken care of. And it's a good thing because at the end of the day, what happened was that until today, I still have some of my staff come and tell me that, Wai Yu, I really appreciate what you did 6 years ago. And that sort of feedback and comment feels very, very grateful to have, right? That we know we did the right thing back then.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, internally, your asset is your people. And this is the most fundamental. If you don't have your people behind you, whatever strategy you're talking about and what that you want to implement, the directions, of course, being your style, you say yes, but right in your heart, you know that there's always a question mark.
Yeah.
So if you can walk the talk and then you gain their trust, whatever you implement, you do, you will not even question a second question. They will just believe that what my boss did is right and they'll follow you. Not that blindly, but they have a trust there. So the trust is so important.
Right, so like both of you have run your companies for about 30 years, can? There are many ups and downs. So for Mr. Philip, as a founder who started it all, what was your hardest time when you almost wanted to give up? And also for Mr. Wai Yu, as the son, what shocked you the most when you joined the business? What keeps you both going?
Yeah, perhaps for ours is that the journey, in every company, there was a saying that there's a survey. I mean, I'm sure the market research company can endorse it that most company that can survive 5 years is very good because most new company, there's a vast majority that they will close or wind down or scale down after or during 5 years. So it's come a long way. So we also have our challenges. So to answer you directly, I would say that time like this will be when customer, when you put so much of your sales into one or two of your major customers that contribute, say 70% of your sales, and so your customer change of direction, strategic, like for merger, acquisition, and so on, it can affect you very, very badly. And then you always have to keep planning far ahead. So yeah, that was a time that we really got caught. But ever since that, we always plan far ahead. Yeah, we started off Snapp packaging, which we co-founded and started. We primarily focus a lot on beverage packaging, but along the way, we felt that we really need to kind of have product extension. So we went into protective packaging. That was quite rightly the time during 2017, 2018. And by the time we built the market, the COVID came on 2020. Most of the beverage packaging was quite badly hit. Factory that couldn't really operate full. The sales was quite badly affected, but the e-commerce was doing extremely well. So we will kind of make the right call during that time. So we survived through. And during that time, we felt that, well, after the COVID, we should also kind of keep expanding. So we went into sustainability. We niche ourselves into the green markets. And we felt that there's a niche that we should anchor on it. And we started on our sustainability green journey. Yeah.
I think your key point here, Philip, is being in the right time and the right place, because that's what happened to us also, right? During COVID, a lot of people struggled. We also struggled in the first 3 months when the government was, oh, we're opening soon, but end up not open. So every time was 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So we just kept waiting and waiting. But during the COVID time was also the time that we set up our data center and we set up our remote working. So that after the first 3 months, when we knew that this is going to last for a long time, we shifted everyone to purely remote working. And what happened was many competitors that we had struggled very badly, but we did very well. We actually did very, very well in the COVID year after the first few months. And I think that is due to being in the right time and right place, right? So like you say, now that you're pivoting into different industries, sustainability, for example, those sort of things is moving into the right direction now. But to answer Fendi's question about what shocked me, right? I think when I worked in this company officially for 12 years. 12 years ago, I joined the company, but I've been working in the company for 20 over years. I started as young as 10 years old. I was doing transcription for my parents. So when they did the interviews with the doctors and stuff like that, you need to transcribe it into words, and I would listen to the audio and I'll type out. And at 10 years old, I have no idea how to spell oncology. So I had to Google how to spell this disease, how to spell this medicine, all those sort of things, and I learned from there. Eventually, as I grew up, I was an interviewer, I was a supervisor, team leader, I did data entry. So growing up, I did every single process in the company. So when I joined the company 12 years ago, I had a very good idea of what the company already did. But what shocked me was the lack of technology in a lot of things. And that was something that was very hard to do because everybody back then was used to doing the things traditionally. They were used to doing pen and paper. They were used to manually keying in the data. And when I told them, let's have cloud, let's use Google Drive, something like that was so difficult to implement because everybody was not used to digitalization. And I think that was one of the hardest challenges to transform a traditional family business into a more innovative and modern one. So different challenges that came out along the way.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the biggest challenges for company that sustain relevance long time, because your company, your late father did a wonderful job by grooming you at the age of 10. So it's kind of a natural succession planning. It's already in there, and you have already far ahead to take over when it's ready. Not like all of a sudden you're overseas and you call to come back and take over your father company, which will make it more difficult. Yeah.
I would say I had a strong benefit because of that. I know a lot of other second generation business owners, and many times when they enter the business, they immediately enter as one of the directors, one of the chief of technology or something like that. And a lot of times when I talk to them, they will complain. They will say things like, "Oh, I don't know how to implement this. I don't know how to talk to the team. I don't know how to do this and that," because they were never really involved in the company. But I was involved at a very young age, and I worked in every single department. I knew every single process. So for me, when I joined the company, it was relatively easier because I can already understand how the general system of the company works. So that is a very important thing, which I think a lot of first generation forget how important it is to prepare their second generation to take over.
Oh, that's very true. Especially for, I would say, most companies, they might not have so fortunate to have a good son that is capable enough to take over at a very young age. So because even like for our company coming to 30 years, we can see that we are also into succession planning, and then we had to groom, we had to train, and then we had to make the right call to take over the company. Yeah, you should have some form of succession all the time. So in our company, we practice like 2 down. So your immediate reporting, and also you manage the one that reports to your immediate.
Okay, thank you guys. We are done with our part 1 of this interview, which is the past. Now stay tuned for next week. We are going to discuss about
The present.